Hello, my name's Andrew Foltz, and I've been using the Headphone 2 for the past 2 months. I feel like a huge iPhone-shaped weight has been lifted off of me. I'm more focused and productive and mindful than I have been in a long time. However, I use my iPhone for literally everything, and I don't know if I can live without it. Basically, I'm stuck in cell phone purgatory, and I want to get out, so by the end of this video, I'm gonna make a decision. One of these phones is going in my pocket, and the other one is going on eBay. This whole story goes back to December of 2020 when 3 things went horribly wrong with my life all at once. Number 1, I published my first book, 365 Comics, but after 3,000 hours of work, it flopped. I only sold 3 copies. Making content all day, every day for 12 months set off my arthritis, so I was only getting 2 to 4 hours of sleep per night. And number 3, I was broke because I had shut down my freelance web design business to write a completely unprofitable book. Rather than deal with all of that, I started using my phone as a distraction. I watched 4 seasons of The Expanse in 1 week, I checked my email 20 times a day, and I spent the remaining hours mindlessly scrolling Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I remember thinking like, this is it. Phone addiction is literally gonna kill me. But then something interesting happened. One day I was on YouTube and I noticed this video I had made about barefoot running had over 3,000 views, and that was a big deal for me because my next most popular video had like 30. I thought, if 3,000 people are willing to watch a low quality video like that, what would happen if I actually put some work into my channel? I knew I couldn't do it sleep deprived and addicted to my phone, so I started trying every piece of advice I could find, but nothing worked. When I set screen time limits, I would ignore them. When I deleted apps, I would reinstall them. And when I turned my phone off, I would turn it back on again. No matter how hard I tried to avoid my phone, it just kept sneaking back into my life. In the book Essentialism, Greg McKeown talks about the importance of finding the one decision that makes 1,000. For me, that decision was getting rid of my iPhone, so I took the SIM card out, gave it to a friend, and paid $350 for a tiny low-tech device called the Headphone 2. When I bought my Headphone on eBay, there was a note from the previous owner that said, barely used for under 24 hours, which seemed kind of ominous. The minimalist cardboard packaging was a nice touch though, and the cheerful handwritten font made me feel like everything was gonna be okay. The Headphone had a good weight to it, and the buttons worked perfectly under the silicone case, but when I turned it on, I panicked. Oh my god, it's so slow. Oh my god, it's black and white. Oh my god, there's no camera, no Spotify, no email, no Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, nothing. The truth was, I was scared of living without my iPhone, and that was the moment I knew I had to go all in on the Headphone for at least a couple months. When I stopped freaking out about all the technology I was leaving behind, I started to appreciate the simplicity of the Headphone. The e-ink screen had this calming effect, unlike the blue light from my iPhone, which felt like staring into the depths of hell. The side button brought up a menu with 2 apps, phone and settings, but I was able to add an alarm, calculator, music playlist, and podcast feed through the online dashboard. As I scrolled through my Headphone, the constant refresh of the e-ink screen felt like sitting through 100 tiny traffic lights, and I could feel my heart start to beat faster, craving for the dopamine rush of my iPhone. I took a few deep breaths to calm myself down, and as I did, I realized this is the whole point of the Headphone. Whereas the iPhone could change to satisfy my every desire, the Headphone stayed the same and forced me to change as a person. Ironically, the best thing about the Headphone was that I didn't want to use it. The Headphone is supposed to work with all major carriers, but I had to have a nice little chat with Verizon tech support to change a few settings, but after that, everything worked fine. Well, sort of. I tried sending a text to myself, and the keyboard was surprisingly easy to use. Having to rotate the phone reminded me of my old Samsung Alias, but in a good way. There's no autocorrect, but typing was slow anyways, so I just wrote shorter messages and spent more time thinking about what I wanted to say before I said it. My Headphone didn't seem to receive group text or emojis, which I assume Verizon could have fixed, but I didn't bother because I'm kind of an introvert like that. Light phone looks like a toy, and I was worried it was gonna sound like a toy. The speaker is a little bit tinny, but the call quality is fine if you're using wired earbuds or just holding it up to your ear. Hello? No, I am the one who knocks. Yeah. Okay, bye. You can add contacts directly on the phone, but it was a lot easier to import and manage them through the online dashboard. Also, I like to use wired headphones instead of AirPods, but Bluetooth worked fine through my old UI mini boom speaker. Speaking of music, there's no Spotify on the Light phone, and you can only have one playlist, so I just uploaded a bunch of my favorite songs. Plus, in the moments when I would usually reach for my iPhone, I just found myself working in silence or soaking up whatever ambient noises were around me. I don't spend much time listening to podcasts, but the few times I did, the process was really simple. I just chose a few podcasts on the dashboard and then downloaded whatever episodes I wanted to listen to on the Light phone. In terms of searching for specific episodes though, it was a lot easier just to use my iPad. One of the things that surprised me about the Light phone is how customizable it is for such a simple device. You can toggle airplane mode along with haptic feedback, backlighting, ringtones, group messages, emojis, and roaming. My phone came in dark mode, but I found the Light version easier to read. Apparently you can use it as a Wi-Fi hotspot, but I haven't tried yet. Finally, I got about 2 to 3 days of battery life out of my Light phone and around 6 hours of talk time, so not the best, but it got the job done. I thought it was gonna be a nightmare trying to give up my iPhone, but I honestly can't remember a time in the past 2 months when I missed having it. In the beginning, I kept picking up my Light phone to check for notifications, but there weren't any. Pretty soon, I just started ignoring it completely. I'm sure I missed a few group texts and photo messages along the way, but the truth is that most of this stuff doesn't matter. When people have something important to tell you, they'll find a way. Also, whenever I got on a call with the Light phone, I ended up having deeper conversations because there was no temptation to multitask with email or social media. Basically, I learned to appreciate devices that just do one thing. A phone that just makes calls, a GPS that just gives directions, and a camera that just shoots YouTube videos. Tech companies like Apple and Google want us to believe that multifunctionality is always better, but when your brain is constantly connected to everything, it becomes impossible to focus on anything. You can't place limits on a limitless device. When I was deciding whether to buy the Light phone, it was kind of funny because a lot of the channels on YouTube were struggling with how to review a product that's intentionally minimal.
There's this little bit of a weird situation here where every time that I want to knock the Light phone 2 for like introducing more friction to the use experience, it's like, oh, that's also sort of the point.
I had the same experience the first time I bought barefoot running shoes because I couldn't quite wrap my head around the idea of paying more money for less shoe. Which begs the question, why pay $350 for the Light phone when you could just get a flip phone for 30 bucks? For me, it comes down to intention. A flip phone feels like a cheap gimmick to get me through a social media break, but the Light phone feels like a well thought out product for someone who wants to commit to a more minimal way of living long term. The e-ink screen is easier on my eyes, the slow refresh rate smooths out my energy, and the lack of features keeps me focused on stuff that actually matters. Overall, I think that products should be judged on the promises they make, and if you're looking for a phone that actually respects you, Light phone delivers. I've had a lot of cool experiences with my iPhone, but it was holding me back from accomplishing the things that I wanted to in life. And frankly, having a world of distractions in my pocket at all times required so much discipline that it was just a waste of my energy. I still have my iPad and iMac to deal with, but for now, selling my iPhone feels like a step in the right direction. Thanks for watching this video. If you have a question about the Light phone, feel free to drop it in the comments down below. Also, at the time of posting this video, you can literally buy my iPhone 11 Pro on eBay, but I recommend that you buy a Light phone instead. Andrew, out.